Westfield will be our location for what should be a great game between Miami and Seattle. Let's take you now to Tom Hammond and Chris Collinsworth. We're getting set for the kickoff.
With a beautiful day in the forecast, we'll get ready for today's game. Hi everyone, Tom Hammond here, along with Chris Collinsworth. Chris, this looks to be a good one.
You know, everything starts up front. Talking about the offensive linemen, about the defensive linemen, they have to play well in this one. Both coaches have to challenge these big guys offensively and defensively.
They'll get the ball here at the 38. They're packed in tight on the line. Martin comes in motion. They hand off on a counter. He's brought down at the 38. Back to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. And that will bring up second down. A lot of playmakers on offense for Miami. Here are just a few. Fasano goes in motion. Drops back. He's under a heavy rush. He took a shot at the 30. It looked like the defensive coordinator called for the blitz at just the right time.
It's one of the toughest things about getting blitzed is that everyone has to execute their block perfectly. It's one-on-one blocking, one guy misses a block, and your quarterback's sacked.
He's looking to throw. Guns it left. Pass completed. And he's drilled at the 45. Despite the great effort, it will still bring up fourth. The Seahawks have everyone on the line. Looks like they're coming after this one. Punts it. He brings it in at the 14. He's tackled at the 26-yard line. And that was a nice little punt return there.
Wow, I thought he was gone for a second. They did a good job getting to him, at least preventing the touchdown. Of course, they wouldn't have to chase him down like that if they'd have done a better job covering the punt.
Drops back to pass. Looking for a receiver. It's broken up, and he just managed to get a piece of it. Nice play by the defender.
And as a receiver, you really have to do a better job of coming back to the football at that point. You have to help the quarterback.
Here we go, babe. Here we go.
Jones on the handoff. And they get him right around the 26-yard line. He barely got it past the line of scrimmage that time.
And that's why you send all those guys to plug up the holes, and that time there were no holes, really, and he was lucky to get anything on the play.
Blue 15. Blue 15.
Hasselback dropping back. Steps up in the pocket. Incomplete pass. And they can't convert on third and long, so we'll likely see the punting unit here. Miami looks like they're sending everything but the kitchen sink at this punter. Gets it away cleanly. Again, takes it at the 32. Tackled at the 48-yard line. I really like this guy's ability to return kicks.
Yeah, you know this guy's been back there making plays since his college days, his high school days, and pee-wee football, flag football, playing touch in the back. This guy can break it no matter where he is.
The rush reaches him, and he goes down. What can they do to put a stop to this guy getting to the quarterback? And it's only in the first quarter. What a great start. The Dolphins come out in the single back formation, 3 receivers wide. Looks to pass. Gets the pass away. Knocked out of bounds at the 45. And you won't see the coaching staff complaining about that.
Yeah, coaching staffs generally don't complain about too much when they have a quarterback that has the leadership qualities and the arm strength and the ability that this guy has.
And they get him at the 40. He did a nice job there on the run, and it was enough to get the first.
Oh, that's going to be a tough day for the defender in the film room after that one. Anytime an NFL running back can juke you like that and pick up a first down, it's a little embarrassing.
They motion to the left. McCown looking to pass. He's there for the catch. Tackled at about the 23-yard line. That pass is good for a first down.
And he had some zip on that one, didn't he? He reared back and threw that one about as hard as he could.
They line this one up in shotgun. 4 wide receivers are split out in the formation. First down, looking to throw. Throws on the run, and it's completed. Brought down around the 18-yard line. He saw an opening on the left side of the field and delivered a great pass.
And one of the things that people don't realize is that it's much tougher for a quarterback to drop back, essentially facing the right, and complete those passes to the left. Most quarterbacks are much higher of completions throwing to the right.
The quarterback led the receiver just a little too much.
Yeah, he put a little too much on that pass and forced the receiver to make the catch out of bounds.
He fakes it. Goes through his reads. And it's knocked down. The defender got there in time to break that play up.
He did. He was able to get his hands on the ball, but if he had missed that one might have turned into a really big play.
This will make it a field goal game. And it's good. And now we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. Kicks it off. Taken at the 5. Sheds one tackler. Hit and dropped at the 33. Their last drive ended with a 3 and out. They'll get the ball here at the 33-yard line. 1st and 10. The Seahawks line up in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers are split out. First down, looking to throw. It's completed. He's tackled at the 42. Nothing wrong with that pass. That goes for a good gain.
And when you talk to some of these receivers, they say the real strength of this quarterback is that he throws a very, very catchable ball.
We go right. Right, Eddie.
Throws the bullet to the right. He's brought down at about the 41. What happened there?
But you'd never know it if you were watching the quarterback. He stood in there strong, completely relaxed, and made that defense pay that time.
Not much time to throw. Burleson wasn't able to bring it in. Incomplete pass on the play.
These items must be used with an earpiece.
2nd down, 10 yards to go.
Of neighboring fans when using radios.
Seattle sets up in the eye.
Here we go, baby. Here we go. Alert.
He drops back to pass. He's running out of time. Defense pushes him out of bounds at the 35. They get 6 there.
Just keeps the ball moving down the field. 6-yard gain and a little progress.
Miami lines up in a dime defense here. And they use motion. On the ground with a tailback. Dropped behind the line. No one picked up the linebacker, and it cost them.
And when your defensive line can handle their guys up front and not allow the offensive linemen to get down on the linebackers, it really gives those linebackers a chance to look great.
Gets the punt away. This one's going to go out of bounds at the 16. You have to like it when your punter can pin the ball inside the 20 like that.
Now, this has got to be one of the tougher punts to make here. It's so easy to get a little too much on the kick, sending it into the end zone for a touchback. He did a great job hitting it just right on that one.
First down, looking to throw. He throws a bullet out to his left. Jennings gets the pick. He's tackled about the 27-yard line. And just a great interception by the cornerback.
Might want to start thinking about trying to pick on that guy. We've seen all day he has simply been quicker to the spot than the wide receivers coming into his area.
Zebra.
Looks to pass. Looks for a man open. Daniels bats it away. The pass was deflected and swatted away by the defender.
I think the quarterback may have had to throw that ball a little sooner than he wanted to. The pressure was starting to get there.
Hands it off. They bring him down, and it's 1st and goal. After that run, they might want to give him the ball a few more times.
I agree. It looks like the defense is a little tired out there. Whatever the case, they're having a tough time now stopping the run.
First down now. They'll be looking for 6 points here. Hasselbeck is under center. They'll come up in an I this time.
Wide 80. Get off this field, man. Come on, go.
Looking to throw. Looking for an open man. Completed. He's brought down at the 1. Nice toss that time that'll get them a lot closer.
You know, there's really no doubting this quarterback's physical skills. Sometimes he struggles with his mechanics or accuracy, but I don't think that there's really any issue. This guy has the ability to be an elite quarterback.
Regular.
They go with the toss. Touchdown.
Well, this offense certainly off to a good start here today, and let's see if they can continue to capitalize on that early touchdown to put them up by 3.
Extra point is good. And we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. Nice kick, plenty of distance. He'll return it from the 1. Drilled at the 30. It'll be interesting to see how this quarterback reacts after throwing an interception on his last drive. Single back formation. It's the tailback. He lost yardage on the play. The offensive line didn't get much of a push on that play, and the runner was stuffed.
Well, that's what happens when defensively you get every gap covered. There is simply nowhere to go with the football. No chance for the running back that time.
McCown drops to throw. Gets it off. What a hit. I don't think he even saw that guy. And another connection that goes for good yardage.
And we really see the trust that is developing between this receiver and the quarterback. That if the quarterback has confidence that you're going to be where he thinks you're going to be, he will throw it to you more often than he'll throw it to somebody else.
They keep it on the ground with the tailback. He gets to about the 47-yard line. He just broke that one for a big gain and the first down.
Boy, that's a killer on 3rd down to allow that kind of run to be ripped off in there. You're thinking, okay, if they want to throw the ball, take a chance on getting a big play, that's fine. But to see a run go for that kind of a gainer, that makes you sick.
2nd and 9 coming up here. Ball on the 46. One man in the backfield. Hands it off. He's dropped at the 40. Brown gains around 6 yards on the draw play right there. 3rd and 3. 2 tight end formation this time.
Let's go! Come on! 48! 48! Come on, baby.
Setting up play action. And they get to him. And the blitz worked to perfection on that one.
Yeah, you could say that. They just did a terrible job picking up the blitz there. And now as a defense, If you see an offense that's really struggling trying to pick up the blitz, what happens? You send it more and more and more. If they don't stop the blitz, it is going to be a long afternoon.
Gets the punt away. Down in the end zone for a touchback. They take the field, and you've got to think that they'll stick with what's working. Right now, it's the effective play of their backfield. Hasselbeck lines up under center. Only one in the backfield this time. Hasselbeck set to go to the air. Almost picked. An excellent job by the defense of disrupting that last play.
And that was really on the wide receiver. Not much of a route, very little separation, and gave the defense a chance to make that play.
It appears someone jumped early.
Full start, offense.
And he definitely moved on that one.
And it's so embarrassing to jump off sides for an offensive player because you know the snap count. But I swear there's so many things going through your mind, especially if the guy across from you is beating you in the head all day. Sometimes you just forget.
He's looking to throw. Scans the field. And he should have had that one. Oh my, the quarterback is lucky that one wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, you try and fit some of those into some tight holes, and every once in a while, you're going to get one pick, but that was a pretty good play by the defense.
Hasselbeck set to go to the air. Short throw. Can't stay in bounds, incomplete pass. He caught that one out of bounds.
Well, you could see the receiver doing all he could to keep his feet in bounds, but that pass just let him out of bounds.
Gets the punt away. Again, fields it at the 44. And they get him at the 44-yard line. Let's see if the offense can put something together on this drive. They'll get the ball here at the 44-yard line. First down, 10 to go. Gives it off. Tackled about the 43-yard line. A gain of a yard, if anything, on the run. Single back formation. They hand it off. He's tackled at the 44-yard line. The running back gets about a yard, maybe less. Miami lines up with 3 receivers. Down at 38. And for as good of a catch as that was, this offense now has to deal with a 4th down. And they can really put their opponent in bad field position with a good punt here. Punts it. It'll go out at the 17. Not much you can do on the return team there.
Great kick and even better coverage. Boy, it sure makes winning the field position battle a lot easier when you have special teamers like this.
Regular.
Here's the halfback. He gets to about the 24-yard line. An 8-yard gain. That brings up second down. Hit hard at the 29-yard line. Goes forward for about 5 yards there, and that gets them the first.
When they call the toss play, you can almost see the running back smiling in the huddle. They know this is their opportunity to get outside. They don't have to go smash their head in there against the defensive tackles and those big inside linebackers. A chance to get on the edge and make something happen, a big first down.
Rolls right. This pass is incomplete. Carlson was the intended receiver, and he can't bring it in. Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on their own 29. The Dolphins line up with 6 DBs on the field.
Right. Right, 80. Let's go. Right, 80. Regular. Hey, 4 calls.
He's dropped at the 33. Just about 3 yards there. That'll bring up third down. The defense sets up in the nickel. They're going to pitch it. Tackled at the 35. And that will bring up a fourth down.
Well, that's just a big run stop right there. You have a very proud defensive line that was just going to take control of that situation.
He punts it. And they make the fair catch. They couldn't do anything against this defense on their last drive, and they were forced to punt.
We up. Hey, come on.
Single back formation.
Blue 45. Tiger. No.
Brown takes it up the middle. He's brought down at about the 33-yard line. The draw play to the running back gives them 8, maybe 9 yards.
Come on, let's go.
2 tight ends here.
Swim. Zebra.
He'll get it again. Brought down at the 36-yard line. Brown gives them a fresh set of downs on the 3-yard run. They line up in a double tight set.
Lock him down. 48. James, 22 press. James.
Miami motions right. Setting up play action. And he makes the tall grab. A decent gain there on that pass.
Yeah, a little timing route there, and you really have to have faith as a quarterback to get that ball out of your hand quickly if you're going to play with that kind of touch on the ball.
Blue 45. Blue 45. Baby. Don't nothing change.
Get your hands up front.
They hand it off. What a brutal hit. Brown gets 3 yards on the play.
That was a big shot right there. You talk about getting your bell rung. That was the Liberty Bell ringing that time.
And they get him around the 44-yard line. A gain of 3 yards.
And Tom, that was because the defense filled up all the gaps. The back was looking for somewhere to run, but by bringing the run blitz, they took away all the holes and stopped them for a minimal gain.
Setting up play action. Hand hitting. Ken was unable to make the catch on that pass attempt.
Congratulations to the person seated in section 21.
The punter's going to try to pin them deep in their own territory with a good punt here.
A high-end GPS navigation system for your car.
Punts it. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. They had to punt it away on their previous drive. They'll get the ball here at the 20. Only one man back.
Here we go, baby. Half. White 80. White 80. Wrong. New call. Hey, come on.
They hand it off. He's dropped at the 20-yard line. Maybe a yard on the run by the halfback. We played a quarter. The score is 7-3. From their own 20-yard line. Hasselbeck is in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers this time.
Wait, 80. What? All right, let's keep him back, D. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. I got him.
Looks to pass. On the run, he throws it. Loose ball. He scooped it. The defense came up with that one.
Defenses are getting so much better at learning how to strip the football and change the momentum of a game. That's something that's practiced much more today than it was 20 years ago.
Drops back to pass. Throws while on the run. Tipped it away. Again, was unable to make the catch on that pass attempt. The Dolphins go with the I formation. He needs to make a decision with the catch. He's brought down right around the 18-yard line. Just about 5 yards on that completion. 3rd down now, 5 to go. Ball on the 19. Out of the gun.
Blue 45! Blue 45! Let's go.
McCown with the play fake is there for the catch. He's finally dragged down, and now it will be 1st and goal. And now we'll see who can get the bigger push. Huge pressure by the defense. He's in. Touchdown. No one could break clear, so he decided to run it in.
And when you get this close to the goal line, even those quarterbacks get a little braver than usual. Nice run that time.
Trying to go up by 3, they'll kick the extra point. Extra point is good. Here's a quick look at the drive summary. The kick. Dropped at the 28-yard line. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. Jones is the single setback. Jones takes it left. He's tackled at the 35. Takes the handoff and responds with a 7-yard gain. Drops back to pass. Goes through his read. Allen intercepts it. The defender gets him to the ground. The pressure definitely got to the quarterback there because that pass was not on target.
With the zone coverage back there, I'm sure he wasn't expecting that kind of quick pressure. It got to him, and he made a big mistake.
Looks to pass. Under heavy pressure. Tipped pass. What a play by the defender.
And the quarterback really caught a break on that one, that wasn't intercepted.
Changing table stickers are placed on doors of the
The Dolphins line up in the shotgun. 4 wide receivers are split out. He drops back. Defense is getting pressure. Tackled right around the 46-yard line. And he took advantage of a lapse in the coverage for a solid gain to the right.
Yeah, we see most quarterbacks in the game are more comfortable throwing to their open side or their right side. That time, the progressions were a fairly easy read. He found the first guy and took advantage.
They'll throw for the first, and they're coming after him. Dropped an easy one. And it's batted away at the last minute by the defender.
Just when it looked like the quarterback might sneak that one in there, a late pass defense and a good play.
Fields kicks it, and man, did he get a leg into this one. The ball will go into the end zone for a touchback. The quarterback leads his offense back onto the field after turning it over on their last drive. The Seahawks go with the I formation.
Hurry up, here we go. Two-jet, two-jet. Come on, D. Look out. That's hot, man. Base.
He fakes it. Gets the throw off. He's dropped at the 35. He gunned that one in there for the first down, didn't he?
He really did, and when you watch a guy throw a ball that hard, they don't move their arm any faster. You see him driving off that back leg. That was a pretty pass.
White 80. White 80. Regular.
Hasselbeck will look to pass. Surveys the field. Brings this one in. And he's depleted at the 41-yard line. Pretty good read on that play to find the open man.
And that's an area where he excels. He works his way through his progressions quickly and doesn't hesitate when he sees the receiver break free in coverage.
Throws out to the right. Knocks it away. A great play by the defense to knock the ball away.
And these defenders have been close all day. You better be careful if you're the quarterback. One of those is going to turn into an interception.
Hasselbeck looking to pass. Short throw to the right. He's tackled around the 48-yard line. Great job to haul in that first down pass.
This team is just so good at executing those short, quick passes and picking up first downs and keeping drives alive.
We go right. Hold on. White 80. White 80. Take him. Watch it, D.
He looks to throw on first down. And he caught it. What an open field tackle. Weaver gains 7 yards with the catch. They'll need about 3 yards here on second down. Seattle goes with the ace set here. Back to pass. Throws right. Brought down at the 30. The defense just didn't match up well on that play.
Yeah, tough to match up one-on-one in man coverage against that wide receiver. He's pretty good.
Drops back to pass. He throws right. Steps out around the 25-yard line. He delivered a nice throw on that drop back, completing it for a pretty good gain.
You know, there aren't many guys who work any harder than this guy, both in the offseason and during the week of practice. He isn't the most physically gifted quarterback I've ever seen, but you can tell the time he puts in the film room, in the weight room, and he understands the game of football.
Seattle lines up with 3 receivers. Hasselbeck on first down. Fires it out. He couldn't hang on to it. Grant wasn't able to bring it in. Incomplete pass on the play. 10th play of the drive. The Seahawks line up with 3 wide.
Here we go. White 80. White 80. Flow left over right. Let's go right.
He drops back. He throws it. He catches another. They bring him down, and it's 1st and goal.
You know, one of the dangers in playing against Matt Hasselbeck is he's so good at those quick throws and the West Coast style of offense and getting the ball out of his hands that every once in a while a defense tends to sort of creep down on him and try and make plays, and then all of a sudden, right over the top, he hits you for a touchdown. That's the kind of ability this guy has. Very patient, but has big play capability.
They put everyone up on the line.
Here we go, baby. Here we go. Blue 15. Blue 15.
The pocket is collapsing. And it's caught. And he's knocked out around the 4-yard line. Nothing doing on that play. That'll make it third down. They'll come out in the I.
We go right. Who's 15? Who's 15?
Nice play fake. Passes, end zone, tips it away. And the pass will fall incomplete. Fourth down coming up.
And those are the kind of big third down plays you have to have on defense to get the ball back and give your team a chance on offense.
Right down the middle. He makes that one pretty easily and puts it through for 3 points. And here's the kick. Again, fields it at the goal line. Hit and dropped at the 27-yard line. The offense takes the field, hoping to put something together after their last drive ended in a 3-and-out. It's 1st and 10. Miami is going with the offset I backfield.
Tiger. Overload. Let's roll.
It's the tailback. Brought down at the 29-yard line. A yard, maybe 2 on the carry. Offset I formation in the backfield. Gives it off. He's dropped at the 35. The halfback gets the ball and picks up 5. They line up at the 35. They'll come out in the I. McCown hands off to the left. He fights forward to about the 36. So they tried to push it ahead, but the defense stopped them short of the first down.
Looked like one of those old-fashioned rugby scrums there. A lot of big bodies piled together and nowhere for the running back to go.
Fields will punt it, and he absolutely boomed it. Burleson takes it at the 21. And they get him around the 46-yard line. And that was an impressive display of speed on the return.
Wow, there are not a lot of guys in this league that can beat him in a foot race. And not only does he have that incredible straight line acceleration, but he also gets up to full speed very quickly. And that's one of the things that makes this guy deadly. You do not want to give him even a little tiny seam, or he's going to take it.
He lost it. Allen recovers the loose ball. And that was not a good time for a fumble.
Well, there's really never a good time for a fumble, but you can tell that he just got sloppy with that football. He broke down on his fundamentals, and he gave it up.
And he's out at the 32-yard line. That was an excellent run there to pick up the first.
Yes, sir. He really found a nice hole, was able to exploit it for a good gain. They're going to have to do a better job getting in those running lanes if they're going to stop him consistently.
Brown on the inside handoff. Brown fumbles it. Tap grabs it up. And the defense comes up with a big play there.
Well, the number one rule for a halfback is you have to be able to hold on to the football. All the statistics show you turn it over and you're going to lose.
White 80, keep coming. White 80. Wait, move now. Look out. Right.
Tackled at the 35. Jones gains about 4 yards on the play.
Reload.
They line up in the shotgun.
Here we go, babe. Here we go. Blue 15. Blue 15. Come on now. Let's go left.
On play action. Throws it deep down the left side. No chance on that pass attempt. He completely overthrew that one.
And so many quarterbacks worry about getting the ball out there and deep down the field. As a former receiver, I would much rather have some elevation on that ball. Give me a chance to go up and make a play. Typically, receivers are bigger than those defensive backs.
Brings it in. He's dropped about the 43-yard line.
Matt Hasselbeck is really a perfect West Coast style of quarterback. He's quick in the pocket. He has a quick release. He understands defenses, and he rarely makes those mental mistakes.
Drops back with the pass. Comes down with it. He's tackled at the 36-yard line. Everything seemed to work perfectly on that one.
And that's a pattern that this team likes to run. You know they've been studying that all week on film, and yet they still can't stop it.
1st and 10. Ball on the 36. Hasselbeck comes to the line under center. 3 wide receivers this time. Fakes the run. Dumps it out right. He makes a great open field tackle. Strong, accurate throw leads to a pretty good gain.
Now, they didn't pick up the first down that time, but you drop back, you make a good throw like that. Now you're in position to try and pick up this first down.
Drops back. Passes to his left. Brought down around the 17-yard line. A decent gain on the pass.
And that's good quarterback play. He recognized the blitz. He understood what was happening with the coverage behind it and found the open man.
Jones runs a counter. They tackle him for a loss. Nothing doing. They stop him for a loss.
And I really like the discipline of this defense. You never see these guys trying to do too much. They control their gaps, and that time there was nowhere to go.
Put 15. Put 15. Zebra. Look out. Other side.
Looks to pass. Rifles it left. Tipped pass. And
just great that time on the defensive side. The receiver really never had a chance on that one.
Hasselbeck lines up under center. Only one man back here. Back to throw. He throws on the run. And he's hammered at the 12. Still not quite enough, however. They'll still be facing 4th down. Seattle could take the lead with this field goal. And he makes it. Pretty good kick that time, and he drives it home for 3 points. Nice job. The kick is away. They get him at the 28-yard line. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports. Seattle brings in the nickel here. He fakes it. Short throw to the right. Goes out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Back to the line, but nothing more. That'll bring up 2nd down. He drops back. Throws it short. He's dropped right around the 34-yard line. 6-yard gain through the air on that play.
Just a simple throw and catch for a gain of 6. That's just the kind of passing play that this offense is built around.
And they get him at the 35. That play was stuffed from the get-go.
And it's not very often that I get really excited about defensive line play, but that time the guys up front on defense were just overpowering.
Punts it. Burleson takes it at the 25. Brought down at the 36-yard line. They gave up way too many yards on the return there, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, without a doubt. As part of the coverage team now, you've got to free yourself from that blocker as quickly as possible. And if you can't do that, you're going to give up some big returns.
Sweep left. He's dropped around the 36-yard line. The halfback is lucky to get anything on that toss play. Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 36.
Here we go. Don't nothing change. It's coming out quick. Over.
They'll keep it on the ground again. Cuts back, and he's dropped. So a gain of about 1, and that makes it third down. Seattle lines up with 3 receivers, single back formation. Back to throw. He passes short. Out of bounds at the 49-yard line. Oh boy, that's a nice play on third down.
Clutch play by the receiver that time on third down. As a receiver, you really have to just flat out want the ball in that situation. You can tell that this guy really does.
2 minutes left in the half. They line up at the 49.
Right, close right. Watch a hard count. Now let's see what they got. Here we go. Wait, 80. Wait, 80. Hey, let's go.
He looks to throw on first down. Throws it. Probably not the best place to try to squeeze the ball into.
Yeah, I think he would have needed a jackhammer to get that one in there. That was tight coverage.
Jones lines up as the single back. Looks to pass. Throws out right. Drops the sure pick. What an effort out there. He just got his hands in there and broke it up.
I love watching the closing speed of this defense. When they see the ball, they go get it.
Back to pass. Scans the field. Gets rid of the ball. Incomplete pass this time. Like he put a little too much.
That one was shot in there. But caught the end. That thing just never came down.
It's away, and it's a booming punt. And they'll down it at the 1. What a great punt to pin them deep.
When you go for a punt to pin a team deep in their own territory, the last thing you want to have happen is to have it end up in the end zone for a touchback, because it just is a letdown for the punt team. Now you've got them backed up inside the 10-yard line. Nice play.
Fakes the run. Dumps it out right. He's pushed out right around the 6-yard line. Pretty nice read on that play to find the open man.
Yeah, the two of them really have been working hard, building a rapport in practice, and now you're starting to see some of those results out here on the field.
Inside handoff. Brought down at the 8. A 2-yard run by the halfback. Third down now, they'll need a couple of yards to convert for a first down. Miami lines up in a double tight set.
Let's get off. Stay right. Nickel. Let's go. Keep playing. Left. Draw, screen. Stay outside it. Come on now. Over top, 2 straight. Hey, are you with you?
The halfback with the carry. He's brought down at the 12. The offense is doing everything right on this drive.
And it's so frustrating for the defense at this point. They know that this offense wants to try and run the football to keep that clock moving, and when you can't stop that, it is really tough.
Regular. Let's go, fellas. Let's go. 44. Bark. Yo. Left, left.
And they use motion.
I need. Goes left, switch. Come on, baby. Rush. Goes on. Come on now. Let's go. Freeze it.
And we've come to halftime here. The score is 13-10. Kicks it off. He'll return it from the 1. He's tackled at the 27-yard line. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game.
Come on, man. Wait, don't lose the fight. Toby 32. Regular.
Setting up play action. Strong throw to his right. He's tackled at about the 35-yard line. Nice little pickup on that pass pattern.
And I really shouldn't feel this way, but I get a little nervous every time this guy goes up to make a catch, because he's had a little bit of a history of dropping some balls, but today doing a nice job hanging on and a big play there.
He throws right, and he catches it. He's dropped at the 43-yard line. It's complete for about 7 yards and a first down.
Well, that's a good feeling as a quarterback right there. You see a blitz like that coming, and you get the ball out of there and pick up the first down. Now, as a defensive coordinator, you may be a little more hesitant to call that blitz, and quarterbacks like that.
Drops back on first down. Guns it out. And he's knocked out at the 46-yard line. They just couldn't get to the quarterback in time.
It's one of the dangers. You bring those extra defenders trying to get after the quarterback, and you're going to leave some man coverage on the outside. That time the quarterback able to take advantage.
Draw play. Tackle at the 46-yard line. Almost got a yard.
The defense did a nice job there jamming the running back, bringing the outside linebacker on a blitz. Sometimes those outside backers a little more athletic and can really help stop the run.
Looked like someone might have jumped.
False start, offense.
That penalty will move them back a bit.
That's just sloppy play there. You have to be able to concentrate in these situations. You're just giving away yardage.
We got close left. Let's hit him in the mouth. Left. Hurry up, here we go. What's the call? 15. Hey, inside.
Hasselback back to pass. He's been perfect on this drive. He's tackled around the 44-yard line. A pickup of about 7.
Little 7-yard throws like that have really become the staple of the National Football League. So many defenses now not allowing the big throws down the field. You have to be willing to take throws just like that.
Alert. Stay on sides.
Hasselback is looking to stay perfect on this drive. There for the reception. Brought down at the 31. He ran a clean route, and the quarterback got it to him with a good pass. First down.
And you can tell there's a lot of confidence between these two guys. The quarterback has faith in these tough situations to go to that receiver and make big plays.
Jones again. He gets out to about the 28-yard line. Just about 3 yards there.
Well, that time the outside linebacker came on the run blitz. They got some penetration and shut down the play.
Back up.
Here we go, baby. Here we go. Half. Wait, 80.
Throws on the run. Ingram can't make the catch. Ingram was the intended receiver, and he can't bring it in. The offense facing another third down here as they line up. Nickel package on defense.
We go right. Wait, 80.
I'm trying to get you over there, baby.
Looks to pass. Looks down the field. And the defense has a heavy rush. And he's dragged down for the sack. They have to find a way to provide better protection for him.
You're absolutely right. There was not a very good blocking scheme on that one. If you can't get them blocked with 5 guys, you got to start leaving in 6, maybe even 7. These are tremendous pass rushers in this game today.
He gets it away. This one's going to be down in the end zone for a touchback. So before the offense hits the field, let's take the time to let you know that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. Brown lines up as the deep back, I formation. They motion to the left. On the run, he throws it, and the defender intercepts it. To the 20, to the 10. And they get him around the 2-yard line. Great catch by the linebacker, not a smart throw from the quarterback.
You know, it's hard to believe that you can lose a guy that big, but sometimes those linebackers dropping underneath in coverage, quarterbacks just don't see him, and he threw it right to him.
Tackled at the 1. The running back gains 2 yards on the carry. Seattle goes with the ace set here. Passes to the end zone, throws into coverage, and it's intercepted. That's another great play by this defense.
Well, I don't know if he could believe that this guy picked him off the first time, so he went back to the well, and he got caught again.
First down now and 10 to go. Ball on the 42-yard line. Brown takes the give. Stiff arms, and he's brought down. Almost got a yard, and that will bring up second down. The Dolphins line up in the gun. 3 wide receivers are split out. Makes a cut, and he will be hit and dropped. That defensive lineman just seems to have a knack for finding the ball carrier.
You know, listen, I would never want to block a defensive lineman, so, I've seen these guys. I know these guys. They're big and they're nasty. But at least from an offensive standpoint, you have to try to get in their way.
He's brought down around the 44-yard line. Well, he looked like he was in the right place at the right time.
Unless you're the quarterback, then he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
First and 10. Ball on the 44-yard line. The Seahawks line up with 2 tight ends. The Seahawks use motion. They run a counter. Hit and drop behind the line. He starts out the wrong way and winds up losing yardage.
Well, that's no fun for the running back. It's one thing to get stuffed at the line of scrimmage, but when you start losing yards running the football, that's a disaster.
Here we go, babe. Here we go.
Hasselbeck sends a man in motion.
Whoever got the back. Which way, Roger Slayer? Cross right, Lucy.
He fakes it. He's under a heavy rush. Knocked away. The defender was able to get a hand on it.
And really, that came as a result of pretty physical play at the line of scrimmage. They're banging these guys around and not letting them get into their routes.
Wait, Eddie. What? Come on, y'all. Watch those quick out. What we got? Come on, man. Let's go.
Back to pass. Throws while on the run. Oh, you can't blame the quarterback there. And the pass was knocked away at the last minute.
Well, at the end of the game, you go back and you basically say what happened on third down, and you have a pretty good indication of how that game came out. Good play by the defense.
It's away, and it's a booming punt. Goes into the end zone for a touchback. On his last drive, the quarterback completed a pass, but to the other team. Throwing another one could be disastrous to this offense. First down, looking to throw. Trufant has the interception. And they get him at the 19-yard line. So they come up with another interception.
This is about the time where the quarterback comes walking off the field and one of his own defensive players will look at him and go, you want to try and throw one to our guys for once?
Who's the team? Who's the team? Red man. Hold on.
Looking to throw. Not much time to throw. He's finally pushed out of bounds. It's going to be first and goal. Great time for that type of pass. It worked to perfection.
And that was a nice job by the offensive line, allowing the quarterback enough time to survey the field and find the open guy.
White 80. Come on, baby. White 80. Solid, close left.
Back to throw. Makes the throw out to his right. He's in for the score.
And that's classic Matt Hasselbeck right there, because when you play against him, he makes you defend the entire field. Doesn't matter where he's looking. You know, the old thing about reading the quarterback's eyes, forget about that with Matt Hasselbeck. He will not lead you to where he wants to throw the ball.
Up and good. And here's your drive summary for that last series. Here's the kick. Again from the 4. He's tackled at the 30. The quarterback and his receiver were clearly not on the same page. They'll come out in the eye. And he makes it out to about the 31-yard line. Brown picks up a yard on the play. Miami lines up in the offset eye this time. Drops back to pass. He's under pressure. What a hit! And that's sack number 4 in the game.
The pressure by this defense has been there all day, and offensively, they're just struggling trying to come up with a protection scheme that works.
They line up in the quarter defense looking for the pass.
Blue 45! Come on, Blue 45! Keep coming! Reload!
He's looking to throw. He throws it. Pass is complete. Tackled at the 29-yard line. Not a good series for this offense as they go 3 and out.
This defense is turning it into a fist fight out there. They're the aggressor. They're taking it to the offense, and they sent them back to the bench with their head hanging low on that series.
He punts it. And they make the fair catch. Carried along by their dominant vertical game, they were able to put one in the end zone on their last drive. They'll go from the I formation. Here's the give. Brought down right around the 30-yard line. Maybe a yard on the run by the halfback. 3 wideouts here.
We go right. White 80. White 80. Gotcha. 80-0 here, 80-0.
Gets the pass away. He's brought down around the 42-yard line. That's what we were talking about earlier.
You know, when you have an accurate quarterback, you can get away with throws like that. Get it out of your hand quickly, anticipate the throw, and you get the completion.
They go with the run. He's dropped right around the 44-yard line. They pick up 2 yards.
As a quarterback, you really want to make that pre-snap read, and it's kind of hard to not see the middle linebacker. He came on the blitz that time, and sometimes you just need to get out of a play like that.
He'll get it again. Brought down at the 49-yard line. Jones picks up about 4 yards on the play. The Seahawks line up in an I formation. Short throw to the right. Great open field tackle. They complete the pass, but it won't be enough for the first.
Yeah, that's one of those balls that looks good in the stats for the quarterback because he gets a completion, but for this offense, it's going to bring up 4th down. Huge play defensively to make that stop.
He punts it. And they'll down it at the 4-yard line. He did everything that was asked of him on that punt.
Yeah, that was a great job. He kept it in the field of play. It was downed inside his opponent's territory. All the return man really could do in that situation is just get out of the way.
Dumps it out left. Tackled at the 5-yard line. He was barely able to get rid of that one.
And the defense knows when they get you backed up inside your own 5-yard line, if they attack, it's going to force you to get that ball out of there quickly. Good recovery that time by the defense.
Fakes to the back. He throws left. Makes the reception. Pretty nice throw on that play.
And a pretty good catch on the other end, too. That's one of those plays that's quickly becoming one of the staples in this offensive passing attack.
Defense is getting pressure. He's got room to run. That completion won't amount to much, and they'll wind up short of a first on the play.
Very disappointing for an offense to get a completion and not get the first down. The receiver's job there is to make somebody miss. Clearly have to give the defense credit there. They won.
Fields kicks it, and man, did he get a leg into this one. Burleson takes it at the 45. He's only able to muster a few yards out of the return.
Yeah, that's not the most impressive return I've ever seen, but at least he didn't lose any yardage. He didn't fumble the football. At least your punt return man's not getting you beat in this game.
Handoff up the middle. And they get him at the 47-yard line. 5 yards. That'll bring up 2nd down. From the 47-yard line. Jones is the deep back as they line up in the I. Back to throw. Short throw to the left. Knocked out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Just a short, efficient throw that time.
Yeah, a true sign of patience on the offensive side. You let the play develop. You find the open receiver. Maybe he takes a look down the field. It's not there. Just go ahead and take that safe throw.
They'll give it off here. And they didn't get it. That's what you call a great individual effort.
Yeah, it really just throws you off rhythm to have a play that gains nothing. You know, you're going to get something, 2, 3, 4 yards, and it keeps you in that rhythm. But when a defense makes a play like that, it really throws your offense off.
Punts it. So this one goes into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. The defense could do no wrong the last time this team had the ball. They go with a run. He's dropped for a loss. What can they do to slow his pursuit down?
So many times it's up to that backside blocker to get his guy on the ground, and it sounds ugly, but typically those guys are chopping at their knees and trying to knock them off their feet, so there's some cutback lanes.
Here's the give. And he dropped him in the open field. Brown gets 6 yards on the play. 3rd and 5 coming up. Ball on the 25. Miami comes out with 2 tight ends. Play action. Throws off his back foot. He's brought down at the 35. And a nice pass to the tight end.
So much of the game today revolves around those substitution packages, trying to bring extra defensive backs on the field to try and help against the pass. But when you have a big receiving tight end, that really makes that plan awfully tough to execute.
And they'll run him again. And he just got hammered. Maybe a yard. That brings up second down. Second down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 35. Offset I formation in the backfield.
Blue 45. Blue 45.
They give it to the tailback. He's dropped at the 44-yard line. They get 9 yards on the play, and so it'll be third down. One man in the backfield. Fakes the run. He throws on the run. He's hit hard on the play. Not too bad a pass there.
Not too bad at all. And sometimes those little touch throws are actually more difficult than the bullet passes. Kind of hard to come up with the timing to hit the receiver right in stride, but that was well thrown.
And they get him at about the 41. Brown gets 3 yards on the play.
Gain of 3.
Second and 7 situation here. This is the 8th play of this drive.
Watch the screen. Turn on deep. 48. 48. Put it up. Put it up. Hey, nasty. King's right.
All kinds of pressure. Makes the catch. What a shot! And a big catch by the tight end.
And I can tell you this, there's nothing that defensive backs hate more than to have one of those big tight ends in the open field running right towards them.
McCown hasn't missed yet. He throws right. Brought down around the 29-yard line. Good read of the defense on that pass play.
Yeah, and throws like that really settle a quarterback down. It's all about getting into the flow of a game, and you can see he's getting comfortable now.
It's second down, 6 to go, and this is the 10th play of the drive.
Blue 45. Blue 45. Zebra. Let's go left.
Setting up play action. And he can't make the catch. Again, wasn't able to bring it in. Incomplete pass on the play. Now they'll face a 3rd and 6 situation. This is the 11th play of this drive.
Scatter.
McCown will look to throw. Here's the pass. He's dropped at about the 21. Chris, they love to run that play.
Yeah, that's one, if you study this team on tape, you're going to see them go to that in the clutch, and it worked again.
Let's go.
Only one man back. It's the tailback. He makes a move, and he's brought down. He reels off 10 yards on the counter. Second down and very short coming up. Single back formation.
Blue 45. Blue 45. Right. Come on. I'm trying to get you over there, baby.
Fakes the run. They get to the QB. Is there anything they can do to slow this guy down?
Well, if they had the answer, I would have hoped they would have used it before sack number 4. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is when you see all the defensive players laughing and all the offensive linemen hanging their heads.
Looks to pass. He's running out of time. Oh, and he dropped it. The defender gets a hand on it, and that will bring up 4th down.
I don't know if that's the guy I want to pick on 3rd down when you have to have a conversion. He is tough.
Indoor seating, enhanced food and beverage menu, and much more. For more information on premium season tickets, please see a guest service specialist.
And it splits the uprights. He put that one right through the uprights. Here's the kick. He'll return it from the 3. Drilled at the 26-yard line. They didn't look sharp on their last drive and were forced to punt it away. They'll set up shop at the 26-yard line. First down now and 10 to go. He looks to throw on first down. He's under a heavy rush. Not much room to throw into, and it's intercepted. To the 10. They'll score. Touchdown. What a huge turn of events on that one.
Not only was that a tremendous interception, but when he got the ball in his hand, he looked like he knew what to do with it. What a run.
The extra point to tie this game up. Here's the kick. And the point after is good. So with over 13 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, the score, the Dolphins 20, the Seahawks 20. From the 5-yard line. Still working. They get him at the 32-yard line. Quarterback threw a pick on their last drive. Let's see if he's able to shake it off. They'll start at the 32-yard line. It's 1st and 10. The Seahawks go with the I formation. Give to the tailback. And they get him at the 35. Jones gains around 3 yards on the run. Big set this time with 2 tight ends. The Seahawks put a man in motion. Looking to throw. And the defense has a heavy rush. Oh, and they got him. And that blitz worked to perfection.
As a quarterback, you understand where your protection is and what you can protect. If you can't protect a certain side, you have to throw it hot. That time the quarterback missed the hot read and paid the price.
He drops back to pass. Passes on the move. He's tackled around the 35-yard line. They're able to complete the pass, but it won't be what they needed to keep the drive going.
So many times in the games today, you see a quarterback settle for those underneath throws, where in this situation, it really is a time to try and push the ball down the field a little bit. Those quarterbacks, though, they don't like to take chances on interceptions, and clearly there I thought he could have taken a little bit more of a risk.
Again, fields it at the 22. Tackled around the 33-yard line. That guy just showed off some pretty good skills on that return.
I thought for sure he was taking that one back to the house. You know, anytime you get a guy with that kind of skill level in the open field with a little room to run, good things are going to happen.
McCown looking to throw on first down. Catch is made. Knocked out of bounds at the 40. Nice pass and catch on that play that gets them a lot closer.
Yep, and that's really just the way they drew that one up. You take what the defense gives, looking to move the ball efficiently downfield with intermediate passes.
Brown takes it up the middle. He's brought down at the 44-yard line. Perfect time to run the delay. The defense got caught totally out of position on that one.
Yeah, a halfback delay can be really tough on a defense because it looks like you're going into a pass mode. All of a sudden, you slip the ball in there, and it just catches you off balance.
Stiff arms, and the defender still makes the tackle. Over 100 yards rushing, and he still doesn't quit, does he, Chris?
No, not that I can tell. I think this guy's in the kind of shape where he could play another game after this one and maybe even another game after that. His stamina is really what sets him apart. I've seen this guy work out. It is simply remarkable.
Scans the field. And they drop him for the sack. And can you believe it? That makes sack number 6 for the game.
This is an offensive line that's been known to struggle at times, but 6 sacks, are you kidding me? This is like the swinging gate theory here. Put a body in front of somebody out there. Give the quarterback a chance.
He drops back to pass. Throws on the run. Makes the grab. And that was a touchdown-saving tackle. He can provide some excitement.
Yeah, let's face it, the wide receivers in the NFL today are really the home run hitters. If you compare them to baseball, they're the guys that can knock it out of the park, and he is teeing a few up today.
First down now and 10 to go. Ball on the 27. From the gun.
Luke 45! Luke 45!
McCown looking to pass. And he goes down. This has just been an unbelievable day for the defense. They've now recorded their 7th sack of the game.
The defensive coordinator had a great plan coming into this one. He knew his defensive front was better than this offensive line. He is attacked consistently throughout this game, and it has just been too much for this offense.
Tackled at the 30. Short completion there. That doesn't give them much in terms of yardage that time.
Well, the defense forced them to make the quick read and throw on that one. The catch was made, but there wasn't much yardage to go along with it. It's up to the receiver to make something happen on a play like that.
McCown back to pass. He's been perfect on this drive. Russell has the pick. So they give up the big interception. Now they have to buckle down on defense and stop them from scoring.
Whoa, this game feels a little differently now, doesn't it? All of a sudden, the momentum has completely shifted to the other side of the ball. Let's see what they can do with it now.
First and 10. Ball on the 39-yard line. One-man backfield. Man in motion. Hasselback set to go to the air. And it's tipped away. Branch was the intended receiver on the play, and it falls incomplete. They'll face second down and 10. Ball on their own 39.
At the ticket office, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Looks to pass. The pocket is collapsing. The receiver was out of bounds when he made the catch.
Not a perfectly timed throw that time. Held on to it just a little too long and led the receiver out of bounds.
Morris lines up as the single back. There are 3 receivers split out wide. Fakes the run. There for the catch. To the 20, to the 10. And he scores. What a play. That pass just went for 6 points. What a play.
And that's really all about timing right there. When you have a big touchdown pass like that, you know it's perfectly executed and thrown right on time, and that was well done.
So they're ready for the extra point. Extra point is good. And now we'll take a quick look at the drive summary. The kick. He'll return it from the 1. Dropped at the 23-yard line. Once again, we'll take this opportunity to remind you that this game is brought to you by the fine folks at EA Sports. Miami lines up in a double tight set.
Luke 45! Luke 45!
Rifles it out there. And they get him at the 43-yard line. He made the right read on that pass.
Nice play that time by the quarterback. You know, we talk about progressions and going from one receiver to the next, but this quarterback is doing a great job in the pre-snap read, knowing who the first guy will be and getting him the football.
Feeds it to the back. He'll be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. The defense just ate up that play.
Well, those defenders get paid too, and every once in a while they win the battle. Clearly that time they were all over this offensive line.
He's hammered in the backfield. Well, they wind up in reverse that time. Good push by the defense.
And when the defense gets that kind of penetration, it just disrupts everything for an offense. They have to get that guy blocked.
McCown back to throw. Short throw to the right. Brought down at the 44-yard line. Well, the pass was completed. They'll still be short of the marker.
You know, I just don't like that stuff, Tom. I call that chicken offense. You know, you go out there and you act like you're afraid. You're afraid to throw an interception. You're afraid to go for it down the field. You just settle and you bring the punter out. I don't like that.
On their last drive, they had success with their passing game. We'll see if they go back to the aerial attack as the offense heads onto the field. Hasselbeck is under center. Single set backfield this time. Drops back to pass. On the run, he throws it. Pass completed. Tackled at about the 35-yard line. And quite a catch that time. He just went up there and grabbed it.
Typically, receivers are a little taller than defensive backs, so it's not a bad play on occasion to throw one up and let your guy try and go and out jump the defender.
He's dropped at the 39-yard line. Gain of 3, and that makes it 3rd down. Short yardage situation here. They'll need a little less than a yard to convert.
James, 22 press. James. Screen.
Man in motion.
Let's get off this field now. Let's go.
It's a pass on 3rd and short. He's there for the catch. It's loose. Allen gets the loose ball.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
And so the defense gives up some yards after the flag.
And I know this is a game of emotion, and if you're not emotional on the football field, you're going to get beat anyway, but you can't let your emotions get away from you.
They'll give it off here. He doesn't get back to the line. He couldn't get anywhere on that one.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to admit defeat on a play as a running back and just try and get that thing back to the line of scrimmage.
Single back formation, 3 wide receivers.
White 80. Regular.
Gives to the back. And they get him around the 46-yard line. Jones comes away with about 2 yards on the draw play. Hasselbeck comes to the line under center. They'll line up in the I formation. Morris takes the handoff. And they're not going to get it. Great stop. They didn't have the ball long there.
And 3 and outs are embarrassing for an offense. When you go out there and run 3 plays and have to go jogging back to your sideline, those defensive guys, they aren't too happy.
Punts it. It'll go out at the 16. Just an excellent punt there, Chris. That really puts them in a tough situation.
Well, you can say that again. Now they're going to have to go the length of the field to give themselves a chance to get back in this one. And what we've seen so far out of this offense, that's going to be a tall order.
All kinds of pressure. It's a fumble. It goes out of bounds, and that was a little bit of luck on that bounce.
And they talk about you have to have a few things bounce your way if you're going to win football games. If that thing bounces any other direction other than out of bounds, this offense is in big trouble.
fakes the run, throws while on the run. He makes the tackle, and he had nothing but green grass in front of him. And a pretty smart play call right there.
It really is so much the key to football. You talk all the time about you have to establish the run. Well, there you see why. You establish the run, and then you come with the play-action pass. Just so hard to defend.
Gotcha. Left. Hey, watch the screen.
McCown hands it left. He lost yardage on the play. He lost some valuable yardage on that run.
And typically you can tell if a counter is going to work or not based on whether those offensive linemen are able to turn the corner and start going up the field. If the penetration hits those guys in the backfield, very seldom will the counter work.
It's picked off. Tackled around the 29-yard line. The defense was all over that pass.
Well, that's the worst of both worlds for a quarterback. You're under pressure, and yet they're not really blitzing. They're sitting back in a zone defense, so as you're trying to escape and throw one out of there really is nowhere to go with it.
Single back formation.
Hey, let's go. Hurry up, here we go. White 80. White 80.
Hands it to the back. And he makes it out to about the 27-yard line. Jones comes away with 2 yards on the carry. Hasselbeck is in the gun. 3 receivers split out.
Here we go. Blue 15. Look out. Solid, close left. Get your hands up.
He's looking to throw. Looking for an open man. Out of bounds, incomplete. The quarterback put that one too far out in front of his receiver, and he couldn't stay inbound.
He tried to make a safe throw there, but the receiver was open. It didn't have to be quite that cautious and just let him out of bounds.
Blue 15. Stay inside right here. Regular.
Hasselbeck back to pass. Throws it short. He got depleted. It's completed, but it'll wind up short.
Well, it's not a horrible call in that situation because you put the ball in the hands of a playmaker. You try and allow him to create, but you're seeing now defensively, when they close together like that, it's going to be awfully tough to pick up that first down.
It's wide right. I think that guy needs to go back to the sideline and practice a few more kicks. As a kicker, you have to be ready at a second's notice to be able to step out on the field and make those kind of field goals, and it didn't appear he was completely ready for that one, and the result was a miss. And after that miss, the score remains the Seahawks 27, the Dolphins 20. McCown hands it off. Huge hit. Brown gets 3 yards on the carry.
Not very often in a game does a defender get a clean shot like that on a running back. Typically, the running back didn't see it coming to take that kind of a shot.
He's looking to throw. And it's picked off. At the 30. To the 10. They'll get in for the touchdown. What an interception for this defense.
You know, it's bad enough offensively to throw an interception, but you can't let the guy run down the field for a touchdown. You have to turn into a defensive player at that point. They did not make that transition.
So they're ready for the extra point. The kick is up, and good. With about 3 minutes of play remaining here in the fourth quarter, the score, the Seahawks 34, the Dolphins 20. He'll return it from the 3. Out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So as the offense heads back onto the field, we'll take this time to remind you that our game is brought to you by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game. They'll throw on first down. He throws short. He's brought down at the 27. He went to the short man, but the defense was right there to make the play.
Yeah, and this is one of those plays that's a lot like a long, extended handoff. He gets it out to the receiver and just lets him work on the outside. That time, though, unable to pick up much yardage.
Looking for a receiver. He tried to force that one in.
He's one of those quarterbacks who trusts his arm maybe a little bit too much. He should have never thrown that ball.
Seattle brings in their prevent defense. There are 7 DBs on the field. He's looking to throw. Guns it right. And they get him at the 36-yard line. The third down pass got them good yardage, but not quite enough to convert.
Yeah, that was a tough third down situation. They got the good completion, a good gain on the play, but probably asking too much out of the receiver to try and break that many tackles to pick up that first down.
The offense will take over at the 36-yard line. They come out with split backs.
Here we go, baby. Here we go.
Jones on the inside handoff. Brought down around the 33-yard line. They get 2 yards, and that will bring up second down. We have 2 minutes left to play in this game. From the 33-yard line. Hasselbeck is under center. They'll line up in the I formation.
Here we go. Regular. White 80. White 80. King's right. Want the sprint out.
Gives it off. He fights forward to about the 30. The fullback picks up about 3 yards on that carry. So it's third down now. The offense will need about 4 yards to pick up the first. They'll give it off here. They will be short. And they get no push with the offensive line.
Oh, yeah, they did. They were all moonwalking on that play. They were pushing. They were just pushing and going backwards.
Kicks it. Got plenty of distance. And that will give them a little extra cushion.
Just everything going right for this team today, and that kick will just be a little icing on top.
He kicks it. Fielded at the 4. Again, lost the ball. He scooped it at the 30. They nearly gave that ball away. That was close.
You can almost feel the air being sucked out of a stadium whenever a ball hits the ground on special teams. Everybody goes,
48. Here we go, team. We got close up. Let's get off.
First down, looking to throw. Surveys the field. Makes the short throw. Brought down behind the line. That play loses 2.
He just couldn't make anything happen after he brought it in. Good job by the defense.
Makes a change.
Blue 45. Blue 45.
Drops back. Looks for a man open. This one falls incomplete. Ken was unable to make the catch on that pass attempt.
Section 19.
Third down and 12 to go. Ball on their own 35. The defense is in the dime. There are 3 down linemen. McCown with the fake. And it's completed. The defense was right there to bring him down just about as soon as he made the catch on that one.
Clever play that time defensively. It looked like he was going to be open quickly for the catch and the first down. They closed in, made the tackle, and that brings up fourth down.
Back to pass. Looks left. Throws. Almost intercepted. They line up at the 37. We should just see the quarterback take a knee right here, winding down the rest of this clock.
Regular. Come on now. Look out. We got to play.
And he'll just kneel it here. They line up at the 39. They line up in an I.
Regular. Don't let your man make the play. Rigo. ADO here, ADO. Go. Make a
Stand, G. We'll make this run, baby. Time to learn hook. Let's go get it. Let's be harder than they are. Close left, switch. Hey, watch this, man. Screen, man, screen. Tiger.
The halfback with the carry. He's brought down around the 38-yard line. Not really been a close one, as our final score is the Seahawks 37, the Dolphins 20.